Hey guys, this is my 1987 Yugo GV, and this is just going to be a little overview of my experience with the car, the current issues I have with it, and my plans for it. I bought this car late last year from a gentleman in Marysville, Tennessee, and he had owned it for quite a number of years, I believe, and kept it garaged for most of that, and it shows because it's in remarkable shape. There's almost no rust on the car. There's a few slight dings and scrapes and whatnot. But it is a running and driving survivor. You pop the hood. Alright, and as I said before, this vehicle does run and drive. Runs and drives just fine. It's got the original, try and get that in there, the original 1.1 liter carbureted inline 4-cylinder. This is where the spare tire would have been, but I actually took it out. But it's the original spare tire. Everything is original on this car, with the exception of the battery and the tires that are on it now. The paint is in remarkable shape. I pulled a Carfax when I bought it, and it lived its entire life in Tennessee, where I bought it from. But interestingly enough, there's a sticker on the back from a dealership in Midfield, Alabama. Carfax shows nothing about that, so I'm not sure. Some dings and scratches. All of this damage is done by a previous owner. There's a gouge down there. But other than that, this is in remarkable shape. Little damage to the hood scoop, but the engine bay is a little bit dirty, a little bit dusty, as you can see. Need to clean that up, but it is remarkably simple. Everything just works, and there's no modern computers. Here's the build plate. Let's go to the interior. All right, now these doors, they open just solidly, just solid ka-chunk. And for being as thin as they are, they shut, just no rattles, no nothing. Let's open that up. Very basic door panel with these cute itty bitty rotary locks. This little twig of a door opener. This plastic, very flimsy window opener. Now we get into the interior. It's very Spartan. Not really much else other than what you might need. Just a bank of switches up here. Headlights, interior fan speed, hazards, rear wiper, and rear defrost. All of the dials and everything works on this car. The speedometer works, the odometer works, the temperature gauge works, all of these warning lights here work, and even the fuel gauge works. I do not have any switches right here because these would be switches for the upper trim models. We have just two air vents right here. These are tweeters or something the previous owner put in. Down here, this is one of the only upgraded things in the car a previous owner did, which is an upgraded head unit. And we have the super rare dealer installed factory or dealer AC. Now this had been converted to R134 and it actually works. It slows down the engine quite a bit. It robs me of several useful horsepower, but it does work. The 4-speed manual transmission. It really could use a 5th gear, but I just make do. The emergency brake lever. Not much else. Let's actually start it up here. There we go. The stock carburetor on this car, because it's all original, the stock carburetor has a high idling issue, which is common on these carburetors, and I need to get that figured out or just replace the carburetor. I haven't figured out which yet. Passenger door card is also the same as the driver one, devoid of most features. There are actually 3 ashtrays in the car. One in the front center. This is where I store my quarters and a gas cap key. And then 2 in the rear. And that is remarkably it for the front part of the car. The headliner is remarkably clean. I'm not entirely sure how. Some slight discoloration, but the lights work. We go to the back. Just lift this lever. Ignore all of my junk in there. There's the back seat. Interestingly enough, the back seat only has lap belts. No shoulder belts for the rear occupants. But the original seats in this car look really good. Not a whole lot of damage done to the interior. Those little arm cutouts. How thoughtful. Again, not a whole lot to this car. Let me grab my keys. The GV, I believe, did have a rear wiper, although this one doesn't. I'm not entirely sure why. Even the rear hatch of this car just pops open really well. Just solidly. Normally, this little tray rises up, but one of these elastics are old and brittle. Yeah, this one's. But normally this would rise up. Rear headrest does have some sun damage. It's just been split open from the heat. We have a rear speaker setup. Then in here, we have all my other junk. Really easy to replace taillights. And this is actually where we find this guy. The original Yugo toolkit. It looks like it's never been used. We have Yugo branded wrenches, Yugo branded screwdriver, a spark plug wrench. Man, they just put everything in here. And again, this looks like it's never been used really. It's a little bit dirty, but other than that. The reverse lights are tacked onto the underside because they were required when this made it over here to the US. Very simple car. A previous owner did add a locking gas cap, and that's what the key was in the center ashtray. Flip this guy open, put the key in there. Interestingly enough, you cannot lock your keys in the Yugo. This little roly-poly lock right here and this door hinge stop you from doing so. The thing is, if you leave your keys in there and lock this and shut it, well, I guess I was wrong. Actually, it did unjam itself. If you lock it and shut it, it will actually unlock itself. So you cannot lock your keys accidentally inside the Yugo. Thought that was pretty cool. Now, it does have some problems. It is a 33-year-old car. As was common on these Yugos, there's a lot of rust in the tailgate of almost every Yugo because the tailgate had drain holes for the rain. But the drain holes are right above the bottom line of the lid, and so rain collects here and it rusts like it has here. It's worn right through there. But surprisingly, the strut still works. I just realized I'm missing one. Oh well. It does have some issues. It's got the minor body damage. It's got the carburetor issue, which I talked about. That's the issue with the electric choke, and I need to replace that. It's got a somewhat significant oil leak, which I need to take care of. Should probably do an oil change while I'm at it. And I need to replace the timing belt. Now, this was a big thing with these cars. The timing belt change interval was shortened to what normal American people had or were used to. You had to change the timing belts every 30,000 miles on these cars, which was shorter. And people treated them like throwaway cars, and they got a really bad reputation. But I need to change my timing belt. The rubber window seals aren't the greatest. This one is actually missing right here, just this little bit. And it lets rain in, it lets rain down in there. I need to source a new driver's mirror. But other than that, remarkably little body damage. Just some rot starting on these rain gutters, which is surprising they've held up at all. Should probably get new wipers. But not as bad as one might think for a 33-year-old Yugo. This mirror always seems to fall down. Yeah, there's some rot starting to show up there. Should probably take care of that. The roof is beautiful. All my stickers on the back window. But let's shut the hood and then see if we can take it for a spin around the parking lot. All right, I'm running out of space on my memory card, so we're gonna try and get this quick. And that high idle issue I told you about. But it quiets down soon enough. Come on. Anyway, first gear. There's a significant amount of body roll, but it's nothing too dangerous. It takes corners okay. There is no power steering, and that's either a blessing or a curse, depending on how you look at it. But even the horn works. But that is all right now on my 1987 Yugo GV. I will try to upload more videos on this as soon as I can. I've been kind of working my butt off during this whole pandemic. But have a great day.